My name is Melissa and welcome to my she shed, and today we will be making my beautiful soft bubble throw. I love this throw. It is made from acrylic yarn but is premium super soft acrylic, and doing this bubble stitch gives such a beautiful texture. I can't stop feeling it. I absolutely love this and I'm so happy to share this with you. So what yarn will we be using? I'm not going to do these colors today. I'm going to do lighter colors so it's easier to see it on this tutorial, but also I saved these colors for this tutorial and I can't wait to show you. And these are the three colors we will be using today. They are, as I said, premium acrylic. It is called Heartland. It is from Lionbrand, and we will be using these three divine colors. You will need 2 balls of this grey, which is known as Mountain Rainer. Anyway, there it is. You will need 3 balls of this pinky color, which is known as Wolf Trap. Love the name. And then this darker pinky color, which is called Capital Reef. They are exquisite, and I can't get over how gorgeous this yarn is, and it's beautiful to work with. So 3 balls of these two balls of this one, and you might want an extra ball of each, and I'll explain to you why as we go along. They are 230 meters or 250 yards, 230 meters, 142 grams. We will be using a 7mm hook, and I always do my chain for the start of my projects with a hook size up. So grab a hook size up, mine's an 8mm, just to do that chain, and it keeps it nice and even. And sometimes when you do a chain with the same hook size, it's tight and it brings it in at the bottom and it doesn't keep it even. So I always go up a hook size just for the chain. Then you'll need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle to weave in all those ends. Let's get this project started. Now, it doesn't matter what order you do your colors in, and it doesn't matter if you want to change the colors around. So let's say I'm doing only 2 of this and 3 of these 2, but let's say you wanted to do 2 of that and 3 of those 2. It doesn't matter. There are 8 colors in this range of yarn, and if you looked at the photos at the beginning of this tutorial, you would have seen that I've used the other colors in my other throws. To start off with a slip knot, give yourself a little bit of a tail so you can sew it in easily. Grab your larger hook, and you are chaining 155. You need to make sure that it is an odd number that you are chaining, because the pattern will not work on an even number. When you have your 155 chains, change your hook over to your 7mm, chain 1, and we're going to be working on the back side of each of the chains. So you see the V at the front, turn it over, you'll see the lump at the back. Skip the chain that you just did now with this hook and go into the next one, and we are going to be doing half double crochets. So yarn over and go straight into that loop on the back there, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull through the 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over into the loop there, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook, and keep doing the half double crochet in each of those loops in the back of the stitch of your chain. At the end you should have 155 stitches. Once you have finished that first row, that is row 1, and we need to have 3 rows of half double crochet. So continue on by chaining 1, turn your work, and then continue your half double crochet. So do 2 more rows to make a total of 3 rows of half double crochet, and I will meet you back here when you have finished that. Once you have finished your 3 rows of half double crochet, your 4th row is going to be your first row of bubble stitch. So what you need to now do is chain 1, turn your work, and what I would advise is that you double check that you have 155 stitches, that you haven't dropped one or gained one somewhere, and it has to be an odd number of stitches that you have. Your first stitch is going to be a single crochet. So straight into your first stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn and pull through the 2 on the hook. The next stitch is what creates the bubble. So yarn over, go into that stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn, pull through the first 2 on the hook. Yarn over, go back into that stitch, the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn, pull through the first 2 on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch for the 3rd time, grab a yarn, pull it through. Now grab a yarn and pull through all the loops on the hook. Your next stitch is going to be a single crochet, so grab your yarn, pull it through, and grab your yarn and pull through both loops on the hook. Your next stitch is a bubble stitch, so once again yarn over, go into that stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 on the hook. Yarn over, back into that same stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn, pull through the first 2 on the hook, and for a 3rd time yarn over, back into that same stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, and grab a yarn and pull through all the loops that are on the hook. Your next stitch is a single crochet. Next stitch, bubble stitch. So you're going into 3 times, 1, 2, 3 through all. Next stitch, single crochet. Next stitch, bubble stitch. 1, 2, 3 times into that stitch. Next stitch, single crochet. And when you turn it around, you can see your bubbles are being created. Let me run you through that one more time for the bubble. Yarn over, go into the stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn, pull through the first 2 on the hook. Yarn over, back into the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn, pull through the first 2 on the hook. Yarn over, back into that same stitch for a 3rd time, grab a yarn, pull it through, and grab a yarn and pull through all loops on the hook. And then your next stitch is a single crochet, and it's doing that single crochet which creates the push out for your bubble. I'm going to leave you to finish that row off, and I'll meet you back at the end of that row. Your last 2 stitches, well, the second last one should be a bubble stitch. So 2, 3, and then the last stitch should be a single crochet. Chain 1, turn your work, and just double check that that's the way you have finished, and double check that you have 77 bubbles. Your next row will be a half double crochet row, and this is the first row of the next 5. So yarn over, go straight into the first stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through the 3 on the hook, and just keep doing your half double crochets all the way along in each stitch. Now you will be doing 5 rows of half double crochet, and when you have finished your 5 rows I will meet you back here. After you have finished your 5 rows of half double crochet, the next row is going to be a bubble stitch row. So chain 1, turn your work. Now remember, your bubble stitches will always, when you're doing a bubble stitch row, they'll always face out. So always your bubble stitches, you will start them with them facing out, so you won't see the bubble stitches in front of you. They're on the other side. And you always need an odd number of rows between your bubble stitches, otherwise it's just not going to work. So make sure that you have an odd number of rows. If you want to do a different row count to what I've done here, have an odd number. No matter what odd number it is, just make sure that bubble stitch, odd number of rows, next bubble stitch, rows. Okay, so you always start your bubble stitch with your single crochet followed by a bubble stitch. 2, 3, and then single crochet and your bubble stitch. So 1, 2, 3 in that stitch. There we go. And a single crochet. So keep doing your bubble stitch row, and I will meet you back here when you have finished that row. The end of the second row of bubble stitch, and as you remember, the last 2 stitches, the second last stitch will be your bubble stitch, and 3, and then the last stitch will be your single crochet, chain 1, turn. Now we will be doing half double crochet rows. Now this is where I was saying you might want to get an extra ball of each color. Now the reason why is, even though it says it is 251 yards or 230 meters, they're not all the same, and I found that some of the balls I wouldn't have enough yarn, so I had to pinch some from another ball, or I find that I've got lots of yarn left over. So we're supposed to be finishing this row with 2 rows of half double crochet. If you don't have enough yarn in this ball, start another ball to finish it off. If you do, if you just want to finish with 1 row, I'll have to tell you what to do for the next color. There is a reason for this, and I'll get to it in a tick. If you have more than enough yarn and you want to use up your yarn, feel free to do that, but once again I'm going to run you through what you need to do for your next ball. But for now, let's see if you can get your 2 rows of yarn out of this remainder left of your ball. So work your next 2 rows as half double crochet, and I'll meet you back here when you've finished that. Okay, so luckily I had enough yarn in that ball to be able to do my 2 rows, and as I said before, sometimes you might have enough left that you can do a 3rd row if you want to, but this design is 3 half double crochet rows, 1 bubble stitch row, 5 half double crochet rows, 1 bubble stitch row, and 2 half double crochet rows. We are now going to go on to the next color, and the next color is going to be the light pink. To join your new color onto your work, your last stitch of your last row, start your half double crochet and have the 3 loops on your hook. Get your new yarn and pull that straight through the 3 loops on your hook. Tighten off the old yarn and tighten off the new. Chain 1, turn your work, and we are now going to be doing the same pattern that we did before, that we did here. We're repeating now up here. So we are now going to be doing 3 rows of half double crochet. After you finish those 3 rows of half double crochet, you are going to then be doing a bubble stitch row, then 5 rows of half double crochet, then a bubble stitch row, then 2 rows of half double crochet. This is the pattern that I've done for this throw. It does not mean that you have to do that pattern, but what you do need to keep in mind that you need odd number rows in between your bubble stitch rows. So let's say that you have you want to use all the yarn in your ball and you don't want any wastage whatsoever, which I totally understand because I'm all for that. I hate wastage. So let's say I managed to get 3 rows out of my pink here. So I would have had 3, 5, 3. That means I need to only do 2 rows of this color next. The reason why, that would make 5 between my next row of bubble. I have to have an odd number of rows. So I can't go 3 and then start this pattern again with 3. That makes 6 between my bubbles, and that won't work. So wherever you finish off your yarn, however many rows you have here on your previous color, you need to start your other color and make the next couple of rows an odd number. So it's either going to be 2 rows or 3 rows, depending on what you finish up here for your bubble stitch. So if I finish on an odd row here, I need to do 2 rows here. So if I have 3 here, I need to do 2 to make it 5. If I finish with 2 rows here, then I need to do 3 rows up here, so I make it odd. I hope that makes sense. But if you are following along with this pattern here and what I am doing here, it is 3 rows of half double crochet, 1 row of bubble stitch, 5 rows of half double crochet, 1 row of bubble stitch, and 2 rows of half double crochet. And the reason why I did it like that is because I managed to get enough yarn out of each ball so you didn't have much left over. I'm going to leave you to finish that off and work your way through each ball of yarn. So I will come back here when I finish my 3rd ball, which will be the grey, and show you the stripe pattern and then show you where to go next. Okie dokie, so this is the colours that I have done so far for this throw. So I started off with the dark, the light, the grey. Now what I'm going to do is go again, dark, light, grey, and then finish off with dark, light. So it should run like that next to what I've already done. So I'm repeating that and then just finishing off with those 2. However, you can do the colour lot any which way that you like, whatever tickles your fancy, as I say. So you can make big blocks and just do 1 colour, do 2 colours, I can't remember how many there were in the range. Use a whole lot. It's purely up to you. But I'm going to finish this now and I'll come back and show you a photo of it finished because it's not going to fit in the camera here. So I'll be off finishing this and I'll see you back here when it is done. And here is my finished throw. I'm really chuffed with this. It's turned out really well. It is so super soft. It looks beautiful and it's so snuggly and cozy. I've made many different colours and you will see some of them coming up now. I hope you have enjoyed making your throw and show me some photos if you can. I'd love to see what you have made. Like, subscribe, share and all that good stuff, and I hope to see you here again at the She Shed sometime very soon. Thanks everyone. Bye everyone.